Hi, everybody. It's meteorologist Joe Chaffee, and we're going to take a look at the Father's Day weekend coming up because there's a little bit of disagreement among the computer models. And just want to show you what's happening. First off, we've got this very deep vortex sitting over Nova Scotia, so it's created this nice, dry northwest flow over us, and that's going to keep our weather fine, I think, at least till Wednesday. But after that is where the models kind of split a little bit. The vortex still in place. We're looking at the GFS model here. This is Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, and you can see it slowly starts to pull out. And here comes this upper air disturbance that it drops down over the eastern part of the Great Lakes. Now, what the GFS does is basically, because this vortex does not really get out of the way, just kind of moves east-northeastward, the bottom part of this disturbance gets stretched and suppressed and pushed down to the southeast coast, and a big ridge of high pressure is allowed to build over the top. Now, if that's the case, then we will have maybe a shower or two on Thursday, and that's just about it as far as the rain goes for this week. And the weekend should be fine with temperatures into the 80s and might actually get hot for a couple of days early next week. Now, the difference with this and the European model, and we'll back it up, is that the vortex actually lifts up northeast. It gets absorbed by another vortex up in Greenland. So you can see how the trough is stretched all the way back across New England into the Great Lakes. And here's the lead disturbance that it drops to the mid-Atlantic coast. And then it vigorously develops a strong upper air storm that it just sits there through the weekend and into early next week. And when we look at what it does on the surface, I'm going to switch over to a different region here. And there's the look of what that strong upper low looks like on the European. This is what it looks like on the GFS. It's totally different, okay? And what the European does on the surface is paints a picture that is not very nice for next weekend. It has a surface low. I'm just going to back it up a little bit here. It has a surface low. You can see there off the North Carolina coast. Well, this is the GFS now, and it just takes it south-southwestward. Okay, so we have this high that builds on in and makes for a great weekend. The European, on the other hand, has a totally different scenario because it develops a low right near the southern part of the Delmarva Peninsula. It takes it out and then arcs it back northwestward to the coast, making it pretty miserable here for much of the weekend, and even has rain lingering into Monday. I will say, based on what's been going on over the last couple of months with both models, that the European has done this several times, and each time it's been wrong. And when we look at the Canadian model with regards to this, and I'll just show you on the Canadian, it's just dry right through the weekend. The Canadian is much like the GFS in that it takes a surface low and just kind of drops it southward, and it gets suppressed and high pressure builds in, and that pretty much sums it up. So that's really what's going to resolve all this, is what happens out in the Atlantic with that upper low. Right now I'm taking an optimistic view because the European has been so bad with these coastal lows for the last 2 months, and I don't see any reason why it should get it correct this time around. It may just be a repeat performance. And the GFS has been noticeably better since its upgrade versus the GFS. So one other thing that I guess we have to consider is, with a low dropping off of the southeast and moving southwestward, that there's always the chance that it could become tropical for the weekend and going in, and you can see it takes it in northern Florida and southern Georgia. And since we've already had 2 tropical systems that have developed in this area or have impacted this area this early part of the hurricane season, it is something to consider. In the meantime, just enjoy your beautiful weather, have a great rest of your day, and we will update this for you tomorrow.